Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. We're going to take our 100-day post-release look at Aetherdrift Playbox sales data off of TCG Player. Out to 100 days after release now, and including the entire pre-release period, it has sold 5,953 boxes on the platform at a total price of $635,000, coming to an average price per box of about 107 bucks. And you can see on the 7-day moving average plot, right now it's a hair below 90 bucks and even dipped down below 85 for a little while. Now, these are the 30 booster pack version of play boxes, and so being a little cheaper is okay, but at these prices, the average box has lost money for the small card store in the US. So not particularly great having to come and liquidate this relatively unpopular product on TCG Player when most sellers will have lost money doing so during most of the lifetime of this product. We're going to put up a couple other standard expansion play boxes from recent history on here and make a little bit of a point. Of course, here's our blue line of Aetherdrift falling in third place out of 4, only trailed by Duskmorn, and ahead of it Foundations, the surprise runaway hit of late 2024, as I'm fond of calling it, and of course in the lead, the purple line of Bloomborough. And I feel like at this point, we should kind of take the curse of the hat sets a little more seriously. You know, at first, it was a bit tongue-in-cheek to call it, oh yes, Curse of the Hat sets, when the set is just flavored like they put dumb hats on everybody, like Murders at Karlov Manor, they all had detective hats, and Outlaws of Thunder Junction, they all had cowboy hats, but somehow it's like all of the regular Magic heroes and named people on a different plane, and they all just came there and wore hats for some reason. You know, it used to be that we would kind of joke about that and how that was going to drag down a set, but we've now seen evidence of it. We've measured data of hat sets correlating with poorer performance than non-hat flavored sets. And so I think at this point, the way we should try to take this a little more seriously is to say that anytime we have a hat set, you have a better than 50% chance if you bet against it. And if we have a non-hat standard set, then you have a better than 50% chance if you bet on it. Now, in general, yes, I'm going to keep buying a little bit of every product like I always do, but sadly, it looks like the hat sets, or being a hat set, really is a good predictor of poorer performance. We've seen it now going back almost a year and a half, and you know, we've got some other hat sets coming in the future, and we'll have more data points. We have a theory, we've made predictions, and we'll see how they turn out in the future. As for Aetherdrift, we will take one more look at the Playbox sales data at 150 days post-release. It is really interesting here to see how relatively unpopular it was that the red line of Foundations passed it, and we see a bit of a jump here. I don't think this was a dump sale. I think for Foundations, this was a bonus buck sale. And so these were big dump sales. These two, or actually all three of these sets, had huge legs up 14 days prior to release of TCG Player trying to juice the sales. And even with this giant jump of the blue line of Aetherdrift, Foundation still came back and eventually passed it after about 30 days post-release. So it really shows you the difference between a hat set and a set with very, very traditional Magic flavoring that people want. And I know it seems to us on a channel like this that it seems surprising that the flavor of the set drives so much. You know, maybe we're a little too logical at times here. We bet more on the cards, the values of the cards, how many times they've been reprinted, things like that, and maybe we should take into account a little more something like flavor, something a little more subjective, because it appears that the Curse of the Hat set is starting to have predictive power. Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.